And the whole story of James Bond and the image of James Bond is tied up with cars. You can't separate it. Ian Fleming himself was really interested in cars. He loved fast cars. And he always felt from the start that James Bond needed a kind of signature car.
The important elements of a good Bond film are attractive Bond ladies, you know, being driven around in fantastic cars, you know.
I think a James Bond car's got to be sleek, it's got to be lethal, it's definitely got to have some danger about it, and of course classy.
It's got to be a pedigree car with some background, it's got to be fast, have great performance, it's got to ultimately be classy. I think that's just about it, which is everything that Bond is.
It must reflect the character of the actor. So of course you've got Sean Connery that had an Aston Martin DB5, perfect. It was a macho, heavy powered car, looked quite aggressive. It perfectly suited Sean Connery's personality and character as James Bond. Then of course you have the Lotuses, which reflected Roger Moore's character, a much more gentle James Bond in many ways, witty and funny, and so that was reflected in the use of the Lotus Esprit series. And then you've gone now back, Daniel Craig goes back to the Aston Martin, back to this macho tough guy, and that's perfect.
The thing about Bond is he's an expert. He's the man we would all like to be. He knows how to do all these manly things, and he can get into any car and just drive it perfectly.
Cars in James Bond are really important, both in Ian Fleming's novels and in the movies as well, of course. And I guess they have their origins in Bond, in the creation of James Bond in like the very early 1950s, and the way that at that time Britain was a very cribbed and confined and depressing kind of place. You know, it was still very battered from the war. There was very little money. And cars were one of the ways in which people could dream about real luxury. And from the word go, Bond has wonderful cars.